What if the child everyone thought would disappear into time becomes the heartbeat of a family that was never meant to exist? In Blood of My Blood Season 2, Destiny twists the Outlander universe into something far darker, far more emotional, and far more dangerous than anyone imagined. Because when Brian Fraser and Ellen MacKenzie choose to protect the child Julia carried through time, they aren't just saving a life. They're triggering a chain of events that will rewrite loyalties, ignite war, and force a family built on love to stand against forces determined to tear them apart. The calm after the first season shatters almost instantly. The rising tension around Lovat feels like a storm tightening its grip on the land. The 1715 Jacobite Rising is no longer a distant whisper. It is here, pressing against the gates of every clan. Brian Fraser stands caught between duty and the dangerous love growing inside his home. The man who once ran from family expectations now finds himself pulled in two impossible directions: fight for Scotland or protect the fragile peace he has finally found with Ellen. But the universe has no mercy. While soldiers prepare for war, another battle is unfolding across time. Julia's desperate attempt to escape through the stones, holding her son tight, praying the gemstone will save them, ends in tragedy. The magic fails. The stone shatters. And Julia and little William are thrown into a time neither belongs to. Hunted by Archbug. Watched by the ruthless Simon Fraser, who believes the child is his. With each breath, Julia knows she is running out of time. Fate pushes her toward Lovat. Ellen, already living with the fear of losing everything she loves, sees a broken woman clutching a terrified child and simply cannot turn her away. She hides Julia and William in secret rooms, knowing full well that harboring fugitives could destroy her, Brian, and anyone tied to them. Brian protests at first: war is coming, danger is everywhere, and secrets can get people killed. But one look at the child changes everything. William's fear, his innocence, his trembling voice, it ignites something deep inside Brian. Something protective. Something dangerous. Julia grows weaker each day, her strength draining as fear tightens its grip. Forced to trust strangers, she reveals the truth to Ellen, the kind of truth no mother wants to speak. William is not an ordinary child. He is touched by time itself. Born in a century no one here can imagine. Carried through a world of stones and magic. Ellen doesn't understand all of it, but she feels the weight. And she recognizes the silent warning inside Julia's shaking voice: this child is destiny. The bond forms slowly at first. A soft hand. A warm smile. A whisper at night. But soon William begins calling Ellen Mama, unaware he is breaking her heart piece by piece. Ellen tries to push the feeling away, reminding herself that Julia is still alive. Still fighting. Still a mother. Yet love forms its own path, and sometimes it leads straight into danger. Then everything changes. Julia disappears. A note left behind, smudged, rushed, heartbreaking, begs Ellen and Brian to protect her son until she can return. Hours turn to days. Days to weeks. Weeks to months. And war swallows everything. Rumors spread like wildfire. Julia has been taken. Simon Fraser has her. And he believes William is his heir. For the first time, Brian realizes the truth: they are no longer hiding a child. They are harboring a spark that could burn clans, families, even Scotland itself to ash. Yet something unexpected happens in the shadows of fear. Brian returns from battle bloodied, exhausted, but breathing, and the small boy runs into his arms like he was born to be there. Ellen watches them, this strange, fragile thing forming between warrior, mother, and child, and wonders if fate has written their paths together long before any of them knew. But danger has not loosened its grip. Simon Fraser moves closer with every passing day. Archbug hunts in silence. And the war raging outside Lovat's walls mirrors the one raging inside the hearts of the three people who now depend on each other for survival. Because in this world, love is not gentle. It is a weapon. And the moment Brian and Ellen choose to keep William, they declare war on fate itself. The war tightens its grip on the Highlands, turning every dawn into a question of survival. Brian's decision to join the Jacobite Rising sends shockwaves through Lovat, leaving Ellen and young William exposed to dangers neither of them can begin to predict. With each passing day, the threat grows more suffocating. The sound of boots on frozen ground, the distant cries of soldiers, the whispers of betrayal, everything reminds Ellen that the world is becoming more dangerous than ever before. Yet the greatest danger is not the war outside. It is the secret she guards within her walls. William, innocent and trusting, senses the tension even if he cannot understand it. He clings to Ellen's skirts, his tiny fingers gripping her clothes as though she is the only anchor he has left in a shifting world. And in truth, she is. Ellen shields him from fear with lullabies, warm embraces, and whispered promises that everything will be all right. But deep down, she knows that promises mean little when powerful men are hunting the child she now considers her own. While Ellen battles fear in silence, Brian navigates a battlefield far more complicated than blades and muskets. Old enemies become reluctant allies. Rival clans fight side by side because survival demands it. Even names once spoken with bitterness, the Grants, the MacKenzies, stand shoulder to shoulder with Brian as English forces press closer. The war is no longer about land or pride. It is about the soul of Scotland. And Brian fights with the weight of two worlds on his shoulders, the world of his people, and the small world waiting for him at Lovat, protected by Ellen's unwavering courage. In the shadows of campfires and blood-soaked fields, Murtagh emerges once more. A quiet guardian. A negotiator. A bridge between feuds generations deep. He helps Brian forge alliances, mend fractures, and ensure that no unwanted eyes drift toward the secret he carries, the truth about William. Every message Murtagh delivers, every warning he whispers, becomes a thread connecting the battlefield to Ellen's fragile sanctuary at home. But for every ally, a new threat rises. And none are more dangerous than Simon Fraser. Driven by an obsession that borders on madness, Simon believes William is his rightful heir. His soldiers scour villages. His spies lurk in taverns and forests. Every whisper of a child, every rumor of a stranger passing through the Highlands feeds his hunger. He moves with strategy, patience, and a cold determination that makes him unpredictable, unstoppable. The closer he gets, the more suffocating his presence becomes. One letter changes everything. Delivered at midnight by a trembling messenger, it warns Ellen that Simon's forces have been spotted near Lovat. Her breath catches. She feels the ground beneath her shift. Every instinct screams for her to run, to hide, to do whatever it takes to keep William out of Simon's reach. She gathers the boy in her arms, holding him so tightly he squirms. Confused but trusting. Because even at his young age, William understands one thing: when Ellen trembles, danger is nearby. The walls of Lovat begin to feel like a trap. Every knock at the door sends a jolt of terror through Ellen. Every shadow outside feels like the beginning of the end. She moves William through hidden corners of the estate, memorizing escape routes, teaching the child to be silent at the slightest sign of danger. These lessons, soft whispers spoken in trembling breaths, carry the weight of life and death. Meanwhile, Julia's fate remains a haunting mystery. Trapped, pursued, and weakened, she fights through exhaustion and fear, desperate to return to her son. But without the gemstones, without allies, and without time on her side, she is a ghost drifting through danger. Her absence becomes a rising question that neither Brian nor Ellen can escape: what if she never returns? As Brian battles the English and the demons of his past, Ellen battles time, fear, and the tightening grip of Simon Fraser. The tension grows unbearable. The audience feels the pull from both worlds: bloodshed on the battlefield, heartbreak inside Lovat's walls. Every moment of safety feels stolen. Every breath feels borrowed. Yet, amidst the chaos, something powerful grows between Brian, Ellen, and William. A rhythm. A connection. A warmth that defies war, prophecy, and fate. Even in danger, the boy laughs. Even in fear, he finds comfort in their arms. Even as the world tries to tear them apart, they become something unbreakable, a family born not of blood, but of love forged in the fires of war. But shadows lengthen. Storms gather. And the war outside is nothing compared to the storm headed straight for them. Fear moves through Ellen like a cold river as the truth settles in. William is not safe anywhere, not with the MacKenzies, not with the Frasers, not even with Brian. The boy's laughter, his innocence, his bright curiosity, all of it is now a target. And Ellen realizes something terrifying: protecting William won't just mean hiding him. It might mean running from her own clan. The same land that once felt like home now watches her with dangerous eyes. Secrets are no longer whispers. They are storms waiting to strike. And in this storm, only one question matters: who is willing to pay the price to save the boy? Brian's world changes the moment he sees Ellen's shaking hands. The fearless woman who once stood against chieftains and curses now looks broken. And he knows, if Ellen is afraid, something deadly is already in motion. He pulls William close, his grip tight, as if the world might snatch the child from his arms. Because clan politics have turned into something darker, something personal. Someone doesn't want William protected, someone wants him gone. The MacKenzie elders see the adoption as treason, the Frasers see it as a threat, and rivals see it as an opportunity. Brian realizes he is no longer fighting for a child. He is fighting for the future of his entire bloodline. Tension spreads across the Highlands as rumors twist into weapons. Suddenly, faces that once smiled now stare too long. Friends go silent. Fires burn lower at night. Ellen refuses to sleep, listening for every footstep outside. And William, too young to understand danger, senses that something is wrong. His small voice asking, "Are we safe?" becomes the knife that cuts Ellen's heart. She cannot lose him. Not now. Not after everything fate has taken. If destiny wants to tear William from her arms, it will have to tear her apart first. But fate has other plans, plans that drag Master Raymond back into the shadows. When he appears again, the air changes. Ellen feels it in her bones: this man does not return unless the future is already unraveling. Raymond warns them that William's life is tied to something far greater than clan rivalries or adoption conflicts. His survival shapes a lineage that history cannot afford to lose. And for the first time, Brian understands why the child feels like destiny itself. Protecting him isn't just love, it is responsibility. A heavy one. A sacred one. One that could destroy them, or make them legends. Raymond reveals a harsh truth: someone close to them has betrayed their trust. The threat against William is not from outsiders, but from within the clan. Ellen's breath stops as she realizes the betrayal is deeper than she imagined. Someone knows the truth about William's origins. Someone wants to use him to control the Frasers. And someone has already made the first move. Raymond warns that the attack will come soon, when the moon is new and the night is darkest. They must leave before then, leave behind the land they love, the clan they protected, and the future they dreamed of. Heartbroken but determined, Ellen and Brian prepare for the unthinkable, escaping their own people with the child they swore to protect. Brian's strength becomes her anchor, and Ellen's courage becomes his guide. Together, they stand at the edge of war, knowing that once they run, there is no turning back. William's tiny hand slips into Ellen's, trusting her completely. And in that moment, she makes her choice: no matter the cost, she will protect him. Even if it means becoming an outlaw. As they mount the horse and darkness wraps around them, Ellen looks back one last time. The home she is leaving behind is filled with memories and danger. Ahead lies uncertainty, hardship, maybe even death. But also hope. Destiny. Survival. The future of the Fraser name. Brian whispers a promise into the cold night: they will not take him. Not while I breathe. And with that vow, the story of Blood of My Blood Season 2 shifts toward its most dangerous chapter yet, where love becomes rebellion, loyalty becomes sacrifice, and the fight for William becomes a fight for the soul of the Outlander universe.